I have been playing Roblox for over 5 years now, playing various games that are different genres from each other. But the genre I'm going to talk about today is of course, horror. Welcome back to a new video. For the newcomers, my name is Boxel, and in this video I will be going over the horror games I've played and ranking them based of quality, gameplay, update consistency, etc. I hope you enjoy. If you did, leave a like and sub. The games I'll be ranking are, The Mimic, SCP-096 Demonstration, Geisha, The Asylum, The Forest, Recovery, Judy, The Cursed, Evelyn, Doors, Apeirophobia, and Spectre. But just to clarify, some of these games I have not touched in like a couple of months or even a year. For update consistency, games like Geisha, The Forest, The Cursed, Evelyn, Doors, I'm only putting it here since there hasn't been a major update after Door 100, etc., will be receiving a 3 out of 10. All these games had hardly any new content out. Even though it says it was updated a week or a couple of days ago, it was probably just bug fixing or really small changes to their lobbies. A couple of months or a year ago when I was playing Evelyn, this game used to have over 2,000 people playing it if I remember correctly, and guess how many players it has now? 20. The same happened with Geisha and The Cursed. Geisha used to have like 1,000 people playing it at one point, and it now has 10 players currently. While The Cursed used to get around 300 players, now it has 0 active players. If I'm going to be honest right now, in my opinion, Evelyn is one of those small horror games with a massive amount of potential for a reason I'm going to list soon after this. In terms of gameplay, I'll rank The Mimic, Doors, SCP Demonstration, Judy, and Geisha. For Doors, I would rate this game a 9 out of 10, for some reason it is really interesting to open doors continuously till you escape, and the fact that there is hardly any massive bugs that cause big problems, even if it is in alpha stage. Everything was just right, from the monsters to the ambient music to the game's mechanics. For The Mimic, I would rate this game a 7 out of 10, the music was perfect for the environment, the chase themes would give you a fright if you started playing the game, and the game's mechanics/features they had in a horror game like the Ringmaster and Saigamo boss battle, the lantern inspection feature, good cutscenes, and finally their no-box jump scares. All of those were great, but there was something that would kind of ruin the experience: the bugs. There are lots of bugs in this game's, like the ability to not being able to respawn in normal mode, monsters getting stuck in a spot, glitchy cutscenes, etc. These trigger people a lot, but the only sad thing is that all games would have bugs. For Geisha, I'll write this from memory, I would rate this game a 5/10 for their gameplay. I'm not saying I hate the game, but I have a feeling that this game feels like a Mimic ripoff. The way the objectives are set out, the scenery, and maybe its lobby, it reminds me of the very old lobby last year from The Mimic. Now for the quality of the game, I'll rank the best games: The Mimic, Doors, Apeirophobia, and Judy. For The Mimic, I would rate this a 8 out of 10, the textures are extremely detailed and is probably one of the games with the best quality I've seen that's not classified as realistic. The darkness is perfect when a lantern is held out. The lanterns are really detailed compared to other lanterns in different games. But you get the idea what I'm saying. I am not gonna rate this a 9 since the quality is a bit too high. I know they have performance mode, but it's only in one chapter so far, and not everybody can buy a good device to use. For Doors, I would rate this horror game 8.5 for their quality. I just gave it because it was one of those horror games with higher quality than most modern Roblox horror games. Some of the monsters were really detailed. The textures matches perfect with each room. It doesn't take as much detail as The Mimic, so you can turn your graphics up if you're on a low-end device. But if you're one of those people who have a high-end laptop or PC, I recommend using RTX shaders. From the videos I've seen, it looks really well. For Apeirophobia, I would rate this a 5 out of 10, I didn't really find the quality that well compared to Doors and The Mimic. Some of the levels were just not the same quality compared to the others, and the monsters, The monsters were not that detailed, even though I know that it is supposed to be like that. But personally I would just give some of the monsters an upgraded look or redesign them. For Judy I hardly remember this at all, but I will just maybe give this a 6/10. The only thing I can probably recall from Judy is from either the beginning of chapter 1 or 2. The buildings looked pretty realistic, the water was shining in the perfect color matching the sunlight. Unfortunately that is all I can remember, but I have a feeling what I said is from another game. For the game lore I would choose only 2 games this time, Evelyn and the Mimic. For the Mimic I would rate the lore maybe a 4 out of 10. Spoilers warning, I thought the entire lore would only consist of your great-grandfather sacrificing himself to save his daughter but cursed his entire bloodline instead, but no, I headed over to the wiki and there was way too much information for me to comprehend. I read like a few lines and then just stopped cause I knew I could not read so much in such a short period of time. Not to mention there will be way more lores when book 2 finishes, book 3 and 4 comes out. Just imagine you are trying to explain the lore to your friends, they'd probably stop listening to you after a bit or change the subject. Maybe I would change a bit of the lore so there will not be as much so people's head don't spin around in confusion. For Evelyn I would rate the lore a 7 out of 10, maybe because it was extremely easy to understand. I'm not gonna say much, but I'm pretty sure it has got you being a detective and solving a murder case from my memory. If the developer focused on the game more, this could have been one of the best horror games with a good lore. I know that this is a shorter video than usual, but that is all I have to say for this video. See ya.